Hi, and welcome to this week's of Bettery Hub Channels live chat. And thank you so much to join us. And it's always an awesome time for me to be here. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. is something that I look forward to. So thank you for all of you who have joined us. And now, before we move on to talk about our guests and invite our guest, I would like to actually talk to all of you guys who have been consistently, connecting with us and giving us feedback. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are here on our Facebook or YouTube page seeing this live, thank you. But do remember to subscribe to our page. And for those of you who think that you are not able to attend our videos and you prefer podcasts, then do feel free to actually go into our Bettery Hub podcast on Spotify and join us there. So now, without any delays, let's talk about our today's guest. And now I'm really excited. I've always known him as a media personality, but I think over the years, when I got to know him more, I realized that there's much more that in depth about him as an entrepreneur. Now, today's guest is Vignesh Wadarajan, the CEO NinjaOS, entrepreneur and a media personality. Now, he's no stranger to entrepreneurship, as his first business venture started at the age of 18. Yes, trust me, it is 18, so that is why we have to engage him today. And now Vignesh is currently the CEO of NinjaOS, one of the leading digital agencies in Singapore, specializing in web and mobile application development, and also provides innovative solutions to SMEs and MNCs. Now, won a promising SME 500 in 2014 and also Singapore Indian Business Leaders Award in 2016. Now, as a media personality, I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar. His journey started in 2007, where he participated in the Star Search show called Vasantham Star 2007. Now, our recent conversation, and I told him that I do still remember, when he was performing on Vasantham Star. And of course, I always remember him as the ASP Sealant. We will be talking more about that in Vete. And since then, he has performed MTVs, anchored programs, acted dramas for Mediacorp Channels Vasantham, and many much more. And now today, let's have Vignesh up, and as he shares his experience and his failures and lessons as an entrepreneur. So without any delays, hi Vignesh.
Hello.
Hi, thank you. I had to really think through how do I make your profile as short as possible, but I think many things.
I think you did great.
You can see me already perspiring while talking about you. Vignesh, thanks so much, on the behalf of Bettery Hub Channel, as well as, all our viewers to join us today. And I had a lot of phone calls and messages, the moment the poster was out, that, they're like, how did you get him? I say, he's in Singapore, he's among us. So thank you so much, Vignesh, to join us. And I think what's more interesting for the viewers today will be, apart from your media journey, I think we are here to also talk a lot about your journey as an entrepreneur. I think that's where I'm sure there are a lot of things that we can tap from you. So, so Vignesh, about yourself, a brief introduction of yourself and the journey behind your current journey, success, sorry.
Yeah. I guess about myself, I'm Vignesh Wadarajan, like just now you mentioned, and I'm turning 38 this next Monday, and sorry,
Advance happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I've been an entrepreneur as well as a media personality for over 13 years, I guess, right now. So I mean, it's been a fun ride. I live by this saying, one life, live it. So you got to experience everything that's in your way and use your time wisely. Yeah.
Right. And, let's talk about your current role, as an entrepreneur. So what do you do? What business are you in?
Sure. So I run a company called Jankosoft Private Limited, which is actually a web and mobile application development company. We have a flagship product called NinjaOS, over here. So NinjaOS is actually a cloud-based online ordering system. We are very specific to the F&B industry. So what we do is, if you are running a restaurant or maybe you are a home baker running a business from home, basically you are relying on your retail front or the space that you are around. So what we are trying to do is to build a digital outlet so you are able to attend to customers all around the island. So you can take orders for delivery, takeaway, dine-in, catering, reservation, and it comes together with CRM, loyalty system. So everything is like combined in one single system. So it makes life easier, helps you create additional revenue, helps you grow a customer base.
Right, nice. And we will go more in depth in terms of your philosophy of a business and so on later.
Sure.
There are a lot of things that I have to engage you. In fact, there were some questions given to me so that I can engage you today
Okay.
morning. So I will be doing that. But apart from that, your early days, Vignesh, your learning lessons, because we previously in your profile I saw that you started entrepreneurship, or I was telling the viewers, at the age of 18. And the number of industries you have been in, from insurance, property, and so on. There's a whole list. So maybe you want to talk about your early days, your entrepreneurship journey a bit.
Sure. I guess where it all started was probably from my dad lah. So my father. So he used to run a sport shop in Yishun, Chompang. And he used to sell like badminton rackets and weightlifting equipment, supplements, travel bags, and all of those kind of stuff. So at times I will be also helping out in the shop, and sometimes when he tells me to look after the shop, he just goes out to do his stuff. So I will set myself for like a target. Okay, I want to hit $50, try and sell this pouch and sell this thing. So I think that's where it started for me to actually like the whole idea of selling something and then being of service to people. And I think that was it. But honestly, truth be said, it wasn't like the kind of story where I had this idea that I want to be an entrepreneur. I was so determined I'm going to do this. Nothing like that. Seriously, nothing like that. It was just basically a sequence of events that actually happened for me.
But just a question, Vignesh. But did you have this thing in your mind that you rather be a boss of yourself, a self-employed entrepreneur, rather than being employed by somebody? Is this something that your experience with your dad made you want to be?
Maybe it played a part, but I did try working. So I actually joined Starbucks. That was my first official job when I was, I think, just after secondary school, waiting to go to poly or something like that. So that time I actually joined together with my friend, and we tried. I think I was okay, but it's just that I don't know. I like creating things, and I feel very how to say, limited if let's say I'm given a scope. So if I'm given only this to do, and I will be done very fast, and then thereafter I get bored. So then I need to do something more. So then that's when the need to actually change will actually happen. So nothing wrong about working for someone. Of course, there are a lot of roles that are very demanding. But it's just that it just worked out for me this way.
Yeah. Interestingly, Vignesh, this particular trait that you just talked about, right? Getting bored easily. I think it's very common between entrepreneurs that I've been, speaking to and interviewing. I think even for myself, being an entrepreneur, getting bored and wanting to do something new and doing it better is I think a very common trait between entrepreneurs. And I think,
it's a double-edged sword, because when we look at boredom in terms of I've already done this and I want to move on, you would probably be running in circles, which I did personally. So that is why I'm sharing. But it's just that when I say bored, is probably I actually, it took me a while to understand the boredom. So basically, you have to ask yourself, like, exactly what are you doing that is providing value in that part of the role that you're actually doing. So used to be such that okay, if let's say for example I'm actually doing web development, and after building a couple of sites you get bored, then what next, right? So that wasn't exactly the boredom. The boredom was more towards, am I adding enough from where you are coming from? So if you think that you are much more capable than that, then that is where the boredom actually happens. The other definition of the boredom is that, hey, I already tried this, boring. Then I go and try this, boring. Then basically you'll be running in circles. Yeah. So I've been there. So that's why I'm just flagging
so
that
this
out.
is where you are in the stage where you're talking about how do I add more value to my customers, to the people, or whatever I'm doing. I'm an expert in what I do, and how can I add more value and be better? I think that's
You're
where.
correct.
All right, cool. And Vignesh, what inspired you? Told me that one of the inspiration was actually your dad. You were in his shop, and your experience. But what inspired you to be the expert that you are today?
I guess I'm just learning every single day. I don't really have that much of like I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but it's just that I think I try and be the best at what I do. I love challenges and I love solving challenges, and I think that is a trait that made me do what I do right now lah. So one of the things to point out is that I'm an introvert lah. So being an introvert, there are a lot of things that you choose not to do, and you just excuse it for the fact that I'm an introvert lah. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. So it was pretty bad for me because I would start sweating, like my palms all would start sweating. I'll start sweating, and I can't even talk to anybody. I can't even look at people in the eye. So those kind of things were happening for me, and then basically what happened was that I told myself that I need to break it in order for me to move. So when I challenged myself on every single things that I actually faced, so then I find a way to approach it and solve it. So I think that sort of got me to where I am. I mean, if I were to relate it, I would put it that way.
The good news, Vignesh, is I read this article on a Harvard Business Review that introverts make the best CEOs, according to that. Okay. Yeah, I was like, we always have this mindset, extroverts are the ones who can go out there and everything. But I guess, so they have some truth. I always realize that a lot of them also tend to tell me that I'm actually more of an introvert. Frankly, I'm also an introvert.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I am. Even though I don't sound like one now. Yeah. And now that you are in the entrepreneurship business, and you are in business, and you are here, when we talk about your inspiration, right? Any specific early experiences you had that spurred you to say, hey, look, there's more to this and I can move on? Anything that inspired you in your early ventures that you had?
I think the time that I started Jankosoft when I was 18, while in poly, when I was 18, that gave me a certain confidence in myself. Even my parents saw it, and even they were telling me during that period of time, like, well, why are you doing all this? Like, then I was like, I don't know. I just had an interest for building stuff. So basically back to the creation portion. So I am self-taught. So I actually got exposed to computers when I was 5 or 6. I still remember my auntie giving me the 5.5 floppies where you can play the F1 pit stop and Tetris and King Kong and stuff. So I was very much into computers, and I self-taught myself the Dreamweaver, Photoshop, and all of those kind of stuff. And then when I actually used it to build stuff for people, and the satisfaction that other people got, I sort of enjoyed it. There was some kind of a dopamine release for me. So thereafter, I started wondering, what if we sell this? And then so me and my friend, we joined forces, and then we started doing. One of the big projects that we did at that time, it was Singapore Cancer Society's website. And so that gave me the confidence, you know what, actually you can do this. You can actually use whatever that you learn and anchor yourself as a service provider.
Right. Nice. And again, to our viewers, there are quite a fair bit of you looking. So if any point of time you want to engage Vignesh with your questions, feel free to just drop your question or even say hi to us through the comment section, so that, we can engage Vignesh with your questions and so on. So with that, Vignesh, what do you think is the right mindset required for entrepreneurs and individuals to achieve their aspirations?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I'm not really into the fixated, co-discipline you got to have that fire in you. I think for me, how I live is I go by this saying that whatever happens only for the better. So expectations is another thing that actually creates problems more than solutions. So like, for example, you expect yourself, let's say, for example, you're starting your first year in business and you want to somehow move this off the ground and try and hit a number that you want to hit. If it fails, what happens is that, because of your expectation set, then you start getting angry, you start getting frustrated, you start pointing fingers, it's because my parents didn't do this, it's because I didn't study this. So I feel like expectations can be kept aside. Think about perhaps the utility of what you're actually providing. How is it that what you're going to do is going to serve your customers? And if that is done correctly, then I think everything else will come into play. If you say mindset, I think, in my opinion, what is very, very important is actually being happy. So as long as you are in that happy space, right, everything good is going to be attracted to you, and everything bad is going to just negate by itself. So you don't need to selectively think about it. So it's more like an automatic process. one of the things that I have, it's a concept that I have. I mean, if you don't mind, I can just share.
No, please,
So,
please.
yeah, so I've got this concept called rule of the circle. So basically, right, what happens is that every day there's this circle that is rotating. It's going up and down in every single day. Every single day you are going up and down. And what happens is that when you face like a nasty moment, you start traveling down, and down will stay down for a while, and then it will start traveling even lower. Sorry, where's my finger? Yeah. So imagine you're starting off here. Nasty event happens, you start traveling down and down and down. And then until and unless you change your state, you will never go up again. So what happens is that one small event happens in the morning, and then their entire day goes into a disaster. And for some, it becomes months. And I've been there, so that's why I'm sharing. So the moment I understood that I could actually change my state with by observing, it actually made a hell of a lot of difference for me.
So, for example, I mean, some in NLP they call it state management, right? Where you actually have the you can have the control, to manage your state management. So, are there examples? A simple example, a day-to-day example where do you make a point that I make sure I have something? I start with a high for the day or something like that. Do you do anything?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, I meditate. So I meditate in the morning as well as before I sleep. But meditation is subjective, like you can say it's religious and stuff like that. So I would put it more like there is this technique that I actually read by Robert Anthony. So Robert Anthony actually teaches this out of body experience where basically it's kind of physical. So you tap yourself in the forehead, speak out the problem that you're facing right now. So let's just say, for example, you're stuck in traffic, you have to go for this meeting, the client is waiting, and you are frustrated because you were late because you got up late, or maybe shirt wasn't ironed on time, and so you're all pent up. So now what happens is that your circle is going down. Now, if you allow this to carry on, by the time you hit meeting, the meeting is going to go even worse. So you got to change the state right now. So what you can do is you can actually tell yourself the whole problem. Right now, I'm late, I'm screwed up, my image is going to be bad, the guy is going to look like I'm like a total idiot, but I have no other choice. It is what it is. So right now, I can actually do another thing, which is let go of this whole event and see how can I make this better. Then the next thing is you touch your heart and tell yourself that it's okay, I want to let this go right now. And then you just swipe your hand, breathe in and let go. So this is a technique by Robert Anthony, and it has worked wonders. I have a modified version of it, but this technique alone by him, it's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. And just to give you an example, now that you told about this, yesterday I was dropping my girl in school. My car broke down. I couldn't drop her in school. I had to stop a taxi, get her up, and then get my car towed to a workshop, and I had so many other stuff going. So yeah, I do understand if I had, not convinced myself that this is how it is. And one thing for me was I was inspired by Gary Vee when he said that entrepreneurs are firefighters. You wake up every day with the mindset that I'm going to lose. So now the question, how bad can I lose? So it's just go on and let's fight it out, right? So yeah, I do agree. But this technique is something that I've never tried before. Definitely, I will. Thanks. And we have Saravanan Kandasamy. Thanks, Sarah, for joining us, and of course Vignesh. Wow, looking good as usual. What do you expect, Sarah? He's
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Sarah, for joining us, and keep the comments flowing in. And with that, we'll move on. Oh, okay, all right, Naren. Thank you, Naren, for joining us, and thank you so much for the comments. Right now, Sarah. Now that we talked about mindset, now do you think the people you associate with makes a key difference to who you become?
Absolutely. So they don't say it for nothing. So that the people that you mix around with helps a lot. So it basically conditions you as to what to do next, as an entrepreneur. A lot of times you get straight. Half the time you don't know what you're doing. Half the time you are lost. Actually, half the time is the understatement. Maybe 90% of the time you are lost. So even if you are running $1 million business, you are running a $10 million business. I've spoken to friends of mine also. You are lost. So what happens is that when you mix around with people who are like-minded, who are in the same energy flow, right? Basically, they sort of like chip off a bit, so you sort of like get engaged. Sometimes it doesn't even need to be about business. Sometimes all you need is that moment with them. The energy itself just sparks things off, and I truly believe so. But at the same time, I would like to also mention that, just because you have to mix with people who are better than you, do not neglect the people who you grew up with. So although they are not in sync with you, it doesn't really matter, because then you are the one now paying it forward, lah. So you be the leader for them, and let them chip, take a bit from you. Yeah.
It's always about not forgetting your roots, right? Where you started off and the people that brought you to the next level. So yes, I think that's definitely important. I myself personally had quite a few challenges or misunderstandings when you move to the next level. It's like suddenly you miss out, because the network just grows, right? So you need to make sure that you do look back and remember those people who were there for you. And,
if not, they will be like, oh, so now like that lah.
yes, it's a very common. I'm sure a lot of us would have went through that stage. Now up to the level where you cannot remember us, all these things. That's something. Now, Vignesh, one thing that I'm always inspired by entrepreneurs, right? It's the fact that your philosophy. Everyone has a purpose, have a philosophy in terms of how they run their business. Because every business, there's a sole existence for the business, right? There's some kind of a purpose or philosophy behind it. So, what's yours in your business?
I think for us, for NinjaOS, basically what happened was that at that point in time, the platforms, Deliveroo, Foodpanda, GrabFood, Uber Eats, all of those guys were there. And what was happening was that all of these, or rather at least in the F&B industry, it's a very low tech kind of industry, meaning most of the owners are mostly F&B trained. They have no knowledge on digitalization, setting up a website, taking orders on their own, none of that. So basically what happens is that for them, the easiest way to do business was, this guy says, hey, you know what, give me your menu, I'll load it up, there'll be customers who are going to order from you, I will deliver it for you, you just pay me a cut. So it just made sense for them. But what ended up happening was that over time, you basically just got yourself a shareholder taking 30% of your business, and he's only providing you leads, and you are the one toiling and cooking and stuff. For some, it's all right. For some, they didn't even work out their numbers correctly. They even went out of business just because they had a huge influx of orders. So this is aside from Foodpanda, Deliveroo, guys. I mean, even other deal sites and discount sites and all of those kind of stuff. So basically for NinjaOS, when I started it, I actually felt like I needed to be the voice for these F&B guys. I wanted to be a non-commissioned flat monthly fee. So you earn what you earn, and we just get our fee that is deemed good for us. And basically that worked out for us. So initial beginning, it was pretty challenging because we needed to understand what these restaurants are going through, and we needed to educate them that, you can actually do this yourself. You don't really need the big boys to market. And slowly they got it. Yeah. And so I think our core value is probably, bringing greater revenue with lesser hassle, and we want to actually be the voice for the F&B owners.
So, correct me if my understanding, that means what you do is that you empower those business owners to be able to market themselves and manage the lead generation themselves.
Yeah. So basically what we are trying to do is to set up for you your own website or mobile app, so customers can order directly with you. And by you taking the orders on your own, now what happens is that, one, you don't pay commission. Two, you have just managed to know who this customer is. So the moment now, if I order tea from you, you would know Vignesh actually ordered tea. What is his total spend, his average card, how many times is he buying from me, and you're able to re-engage him again. But if you're on the platforms, you have no visibility. So at the end of the day, what will happen is, even 3 years down the road, you made $1 million, you still don't know who your customers are. The moment they take you out of the system, you are out and done. So basically, your audience is your business. So that's what we are trying to do. So we are trying to collate for you your audience, so that in any case, you are still protected. Last year was the biggest example. So last year, a lot of F&B owners, they actually got a rude awakening, because they were thinking that, hey, platform is there, no need to worry, why I need to build a website, no need to market myself. And then the pandemic hit, and for the platforms, it only made sense to put the bigger brands. Why? Because they generated more revenue for them. The smaller guys, it was like, you order, never order, it doesn't really matter to me. They push them down the list, or they even took them out. So then these guys then started understanding, hey, you know what? Yes, I have to now own my own audience. I need to set up my own site. So then the shift actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just having this conversation prior to this live chat, right? Where, COVID in a way, previously last time we talked about digital transformation and how it's going to affect us, but COVID made us understand that, you either transform or there's no way you can survive. So it forced a lot of them. But I think whatever you're doing for businesses, from what I see, it is a long-term gain for them. Like what you say, that the information about their clients and so on.
Yeah.
Right. We have a question from Maran. Hi, Maran. Thank you so much. And he's asking. Okay, all right. I believe Maran, you're also interested about introverts. Well, welcome to the club. Now, being introvert, how do you manage, Vignesh, being a CEO, mingling with your peers and clients, and what is the key takeaway you recommend?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I am an introvert. I'm an introvert, and I've been an introvert all along, right? So what happens is that I've come to understand that there's no way for me to become an extrovert. There's no way for me to become normal. That's the way it is. I've given up. So what happens is that when I go for a seminar, I start getting like, should I go and talk to this guy? Should I go and reach out to this guy? And it's like that. And there's nothing you can do about it because you are an introvert. So what happened was that I actually got figuring out like, how can I actually break free from this? And what happened was, this is the same exact technique that got me into Vasantham Star as well. So basically what happens is that I have this technique called back against the wall. So, there are a lot of times that you are given an assignment, or maybe you are given something to do. You will not do. You will wait until the deadline comes. And then 1 hour before, you will, okay, I'm done. And that is actually the back against the wall. Because your back is now against the wall, in 1 hour, you have to deliver. No matter what happens, you will deliver. Whether you didn't know, you forgot, you don't know where to go and find, somehow you will figure it out and you will deliver. So how you can actually use that same technique here. So now what happens is that when I actually go to an event and I need to speak to somebody, what happens is that I just put myself into that position. Okay, how do I put it this nicely for you? Maybe it's like getting into the zone. So now you tell yourself just one thing. I leave this place, I walk, I would have spent these 2 hours in this event and I would have learned nothing, which is totally fine. But do you want to walk like that, or do you want to just take one person's contact, just 1%? Just do that minimal 1%, and then you walk. Then if it is okay, let's just do it now. Now, go. Then after that, don't think, because the moment you let yourself think, you are not going to do it. So get yourself into that zone, snap it and go, and then do it. The moment you do it once, you will start doing again and again and again. So basically, you would have just, spoken to like 5-10 people. And then after that, go back to becoming your introvert. Be quiet and just get back. Yeah. So that for me actually helped. Maybe you can try that.
So you still, right now, or at least at the initial start when you go to events and everything, you still have like something to do before I leave, and that's it. You don't plan, and at that point of time, you just say, okay, this is what I want to do, and make sure it's worth my time doing that, and you just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a far bigger problem than people think it is, being an introvert. Because even for stage shows, they ask you to come up to speak. Even though you've been on a stage for 1,000 times, you will still have that same feeling. So I need to prep myself, go into that zone. Now I've just made it faster because I've practiced it. But it's just that try getting yourself into the zone and then snap and then go for it. If I may, I can just share this one more thing. So this other one more technique that I have is actually called, okay, I have a lot of techniques. Maybe I'll just share. So the one other toolkit that I have is basically observe and fix. So like, for example, right, if you want to fix a toy, you observe this toy, you go and figure it out, where is it going wrong, and then you fix it. When this toy is not working, you won't look at another toy. So exactly so for yourself. So what happened was that when I started making all these mistakes, or when I start actually feeling like, hey, why am I sweating? Why am I feeling like this? Why is my heart racing? Then I observe, I address, and then I fix. So if you face something like, for example, you feel like, hey, I should have spoken to this guy. don't leave it there, because the next event you're going to do exactly the same thing, and you're going to have the next exact same question. Hey, I should have spoken to that. So what happens is that right at that event you fix that problem, go back in there and fix that problem, and the moment you fix that problem there and then, you would have just given yourself the confidence. Next time you wouldn't do it again. So the observe, address and fix.
Cool. Thanks. And Maran, hopefully this answers your question. A lot of techniques, I think seriously, if you had come to Vignesh workshop, you should have paid a lot of money for this. but thanks, Vignesh and Maran. Please give us a thumbs up if you think it's good. And yeah, with these techniques, if you think that you want to go for the next Vasantham Star, we will also look out for you. So with that, thanks, Maran. Just give us a thumbs up, or for the rest of the guys out there. Yes, Vignesh.
By the way, just a disclaimer: all of these techniques that I'm sharing is techniques that has worked for me. So do try it. If it doesn't work, don't scold me. So it is things that I've just made it easy for myself, lah. So if it helps, yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Maran. Just give us a thumbs up if it answers your question. And going back to what you just shared, right? Just a short one. I was an ex-military officer, 10, 11 years, commando, so on, right? But when I left and I went into the financial planning industry, the first thing that my mentor told me, go to do a roadshow. Just a simple thing like a roadshow, right? And the only thing that ran into my mind, I was a captain, going major, and I got to talk to people and everything, and realize that there's this thing called reluctance, right? Called reluctance, or you can call it, And then this technique you just said, Vignesh, what worked for me is like, okay, I'm going to count 4 seconds, military guy, right? 4 seconds rule, right? 4 seconds, I'm going to look, the first guy, I'm not going to think whether he looks good, he looks bad, whatever. I'm just going to talk to him. And when I did that, I realized that I started getting names, and, till today, some of the guys who are my existing clients, right? They will still say, Sakti, can you tell the script that you talked to us at the point of time? Because you just go and just talk and everything. So, whatever you just shared, I think you're not the only one. Trust me. I think that is something that I personally, even till today, use.
And, good to know. Awesome.
Yeah, it is. I guess the only thing best about these techniques is when you use it, right? And then you know what works. Or you got to tweak it around a bit here and there according to your own, or customize it according to your own level. Right. Now let's go into the next level of what we were talking about. We actually were talking about your business. Yeah. Before we go to this, I got one more question about your business. So what's your philosophy, now that you have done and helped those SMEs, because you were talking about helping SMEs, right, to make a difference, to get them to be in control. So is there any specific philosophy or motto that you have within NinjaOS, making a difference?
Yeah, I mean, for us, basically what we want to do is we want to actually help them save time, money, and generate for them additional revenue. So if we are not doing this, then we are not doing a great job. So then we don't deserve to serve the customer. So if at any point in time this 3 doesn't happen, then we would be out of business. So that's something that we hold it very closely, and it's on our website as well.
Right. And I just want to share or ask Vignesh about this. We talked about Richard. Richard Branson also talks about this, right? I think, or even Gandhi have said that your customers are the most important people, right? So a lot of time entrepreneurs believe in revenue. They talk about, making a profit, having a good product, but they always forget about how to wow and, take care of your customers, always be doing better. And we talked about this. So in NinjaOS, right, what is it specifically that you all do to make sure that you are always doing it better each time? Is it like through feedback from your clients and so on, or?
So being a techie, right, I always make this mistake of building features after features after features and trying to wow the customer, which is, in some way entertains me, but then again, for my customers, it doesn't really make any difference. So what happens is that I actually made a shift as well, because I started understanding the customer's pain points. So every time we go down to meet, I did the sales myself. So I go down, I speak to them, see where the challenges are, what are the kind of feedbacks that they're sharing. So every feedback was taken seriously, and we built it into the system. So over time, we have built it into like what it is today, which is able to take on from whether you're a catering business, you're a club, you're a bar, you're a bistro, whether you have 50 outlets, you have 100 outlets, or you have one single outlet. So I think navigating through that is very, very important, where you listen and you listen hard to your customers.
All right. Thanks. And Vignesh, let's talk about the challenges, right? Entrepreneurship. Earlier, I told you, right? Entrepreneurs are actually firefighters, and every day we are always looking at different challenges and how we actually move on to the next level. So, how did you overcome them in your business? Let's not talk about the COVID itself. Just challenges in your business first. Then we will go into the time where you had COVID.
Oh, sure. I think challenges, yeah. So when you're starting off, basically you're always cash strapped. So you're starting off fresh. I think for me, because I had a couple of other businesses and I had exit, so I still had some funds. But then again, if I'm dating this back to where I initially started, you're cash strapped. So you got to creatively find ways how to actually get things done fast and how to get things done cheap. So I think at the early beginning when I started doing everything myself, and I felt like I'm the best guy who can do everything myself. So administration also I must do, building the website also I must do, saying okay to a design also I must do. So basically, if you put yourself into every single place just because you think if it doesn't go through you, it's not going to be good. Then you're basically the bottleneck for your business. So you need to start delegating early. And the way to delegate right now, it has made it's made so much easier. So right now you can hire someone from anywhere in the world. You can actually hire them for a couple of dollars an hour, get them to finish up certain stuff that you need, whether it's writing an article, whether it's posting something for you. So delegate things early and trust them to get things done well. So I think that would be the biggest takeaway. Challenges wise, when you're cash strapped, then you're trying to find a way to actually go around this. What I would say is that if you keep looking at money isn't coming in, money isn't coming in, money isn't coming in, I would rather tell you stop it and then just go and find a proper a place where you can actually generate money first. Because if you are starting a business from scratch, 200% it's not going to come like tomorrow. So you have to give it time. It's like growing a baby. So if you expect the day you come in, you want to actually make a couple of $1,000, it's just not going to happen. So how I would approach this, even if I'm starting this again, is I would actually look at how am I getting my customers. And the moment I figure out this process of lead gen to conversion, if this two happens nicely and smoothly, now just pump every dollar that you have and then keep replicating this every day. So the most important is how do you get the customer to see you, get through your door to buy your service, and then how do you fulfill the service? If this process is done already, then you can fly. I would say get like maybe 5 customers, and then thereafter, if these 5 customers are going well, try and do a testimonial video, try and do a testimonial with them, like maybe a blog post, use that and then start marketing again. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And apart from this, now let's talk about now when COVID hit, right? I think a lot of businesses, especially SMEs, were badly affected, really, really badly affected. Of course, there are some industries that did really extremely well. So in your case, were there any challenges? I mean, let's not talk about just challenges, but were there any opportunities out of those challenges that you saw that you want to share with?
So I think when COVID hit in March, April, I thought we are going down, we are going out of business because we are directly dependent on the restaurant. So we were like, okay, if they are going to get affected, okay, I think it was a good run. Let's close shop. Let's think about what's the next thing we got to do. So I was prepared. I was prepared for mayhem. Then surprisingly, what happened was in April, things just changed. Every other restaurant started calling us, and we had a different problem to deal with. So for us, it became a boom, and we started hiring like crazy. So we like tripled our our manpower here in Singapore as well as in the Philippines, and we have another office in India for our tech development and stuff. So then everybody started getting busy, and we were like having a mad time and there were other challenges because we didn't really have a support team, so we didn't know how to do support. We didn't know how to do onboarding because we were closing deals very slow. We were closing like 5 deals, 10 deals a month. So we were like, okay, we still have go through email and the kind of stuff. Then when we were closing deals like your 25 to 50 to 80 deals a month, then we were like, oh my god, we are having a real problem. So that's when we started having like processes. So then I understood like, oh yeah, I've learned all about these processes, how you should have onboarding, but I never really put it into use. But then started putting things in order. Everybody has a KPI. Every Monday there's a meeting. Wednesday there's a meeting. Friday there's a meeting. Tuesday and Thursday there's a tech meeting. So everybody is like aligned. So these kind of processes all started coming into play. Should you do this right at the beginning? I don't think so, because you have more things to worry about. But these were some of the challenges like I faced like last year. Good problems, but still a problem.
Yeah, I look at it as good problems. Yeah, but definitely, I mean, even in this situation, I think yours was more towards how do you keep up to the demand and things coming in. And currently, I think with things going to the new normal and things, getting a bit better, are you still having the same number of F&B owners coming up to you? And are they really looking into, ways and avenues to, change the way they have been actually doing their business?
Yeah. So I think the demand has dropped, but it's just that I think the velocity drop is not because of the interest, but it's more of the tenacity lah. Because I think that time it was like there's no way for me to open the shop. I need it now. So everybody in flux. But then right now it's like a lot of them are actually doing like reassessment of, hey, I really need to go online, or maybe they already have an online store, but it's not really performing up to their standard. Because like last year would have been a good yardstick for some less. So if you're not really performing pretty well online, you need more tools. Like for example, CRM or loyalty. You need more tools like how to engage my customer, how to market my customer. So that's where you start looking for a proper ordering system. Then you start coming to us. Or if let's say you're already having a store online, maybe it's not performing because it's not integrated to my delivery driver, it's not integrated to my kitchen printer, it's not integrated to my POS machine. Then you start looking for a more all-in-one system. Then you come to us. So those kind of things are happening. But we are still going strong.
All right. And because we have a lot of people who are out there, who actually want to implement their passion into action, to do a startup, or there are some of these guys who are already startups, in the early stage of their businesses now. Would you like to maybe share, how important it is for business owners to, like unlearn and relearn continually, upgrade and to transform themselves? Not only because of, I think COVID taught us a good lesson on that, but in your experience, even post-COVID, or I don't think we are in the post-COVID, but even at this stage, anything that you want to actually share?
Yeah, I think learn and unlearn is very, very important, because I think times are changing a lot more faster than how it used to. I think last time you can wait like 6 months, and then now it's like every month you got to get yourself updated as to what is happening. And there are so many tools out there that can make life easier for you. So yeah, I think that's a very, very important component for every entrepreneur. Aside to that, I think, because very important are your values. So I would say don't chase after trends, because nowadays there's so many trends. Like whether you want to focus on Bitcoin, you want to go to stock trading, or you want to do a fintech, you want to do there's just so many. And then basically you might think that, but this is the next best thing, this is the next best thing. And then basically you are never going anywhere. Like once again, it's like the round robin kind of thing. So one thing it would be is if you have decided like, okay, this is where I want to go. Let's just say, for example, even if it is very brick and mortar, maybe I want to do cleaning service, right? If it is a cleaning service, then look at how am I going to differentiate myself, and how is it that I'm adding value to my customer. It doesn't need to be the world's best cleaning solution, but it just needs to be, how can I just be a bit more better than the person who's currently serving this customer? And if this customer is more happier with me, then fabulous. Then you just need to focus on that. Then forget about whatever else. Then just double down on that.
Right. And any specific advice for the new startups and people who are inspiring or aspiring to be entrepreneurs? Any specific advice or anything that you want to tell them?
I don't know if I'm ready for advice, but then again, I can maybe share some of the things that I've done. So I would say don't chase the shiny objects like I shared just now. And I guess, do what you feel that's good for you. Because a lot of times people get into a business because the business presents to have a very big opportunity, but they know head or tail about their business, and then they get themselves stuck after a while. So like for me, I am in this industry of technology is because I live and breathe it. the software and computers, and that's in me lah. And would I do this like 24/7? I would. I don't feel bored because that's something that I just love doing. So and if it is something that you like, then go ahead. There's nothing that can hold you back.
Right. Thanks, Vignesh. And now that you talk about being a tech guy, right? The next one is quite interesting, at least for me. I always have this stereotype thinking that tech guys are boring. They are like very straight. I mean, it's a stereotype thinking that a lot of us have. Now, my question is like being an introvert, and then after listening to you about being an introvert and being a tech guy, I remember you as the media guy, from Bettery, right?
Yes.
So and many other shows. So, what inspired you to start your journey as a media personal?
Yeah. So like, if you saw me where I started, there was no chance that I would have been in media lah. So even my secondary school friends, primary school friends are like, "Is that you? Like, you are the guy who can't even talk like upfront and stuff like that." So you are like. So once again, this one was like a thing that just happened. So me and my group of friends, we were like watching Shabir's Bettery 2005. And then we saw that advertisement and stuff. And then we were like, hey, one of us must be on TV lah. So it was one of those discussions. And then we were like, yeah, la, then one of us must go lah. So basically, I think 2 or 3 of us, we went for the audition in 2007. And then I got through. And then basically, yeah, it one led to another, and then we ended up finishing.
So you're the only one who went through out of the few guys who went in.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
It was fun. Then after Vasantham Star, got a lot of opportunities like to act, to sing, to host. So yeah, I took everything within my stride. I didn't say no, and just wanted to explore. So yeah, one after another until Bettery.
Cool. I mean, just swinging over a bit on the media side, Vasantham Star was actually more on singing. And then, suddenly when I see your batch of Vasantham Stars, a lot of them really went into acting, they went into hosting and so on. So it's like amazing, the transition. So, Vignesh, how's your experience, and how has, being a media personality affected you or helped you, being a business owner?
Oh, yeah. So, I think for at the beginning days, I was struggling because I'm just not used to this whole being on stage and being looked at by a lot of people. I'm by myself lah. So like secondary school, poly, or it's like school finished, just go back home, play game, the kind of stuff. So it was very, very hard for me. But it's just that I don't know. Yeah, I think there was this like curiosity. Hey, what happens next? Hey, what happens next? If we do like this, then what happens? So then that actually got me going and going. So I still remember I sucked at acting when I first did my first drama. I just didn't know how to act. I was laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. So because I just couldn't understand, like, how do you put up a straight face and then look at someone who's acting as dying, the kind of stuff lah. Then slowly I got the hang of things and then started learning. So yeah, it was really fun. How it actually molded me was, it gave me a confidence like none other lah. So when you have like thousands of screaming fans on a stage, or when you go to Malaysia where you have like fans screaming your name, and then even simple acknowledgements when you go to like anywhere where people look at you and then they tell you how appreciative they are. You made my day, I watched you and stuff. So it really warms your heart. Like, I was able to touch thousands or at least a few people's heart doing what I do and doing what I love. So I felt like that was something very special, and I do not take it lightly, and I really appreciate the opportunity that was given to me.
And then do you find that, after your stint being a media personality, suddenly you felt that there was a lot of spotlight everywhere you go, and do you feel that you have certain responsibilities when you're out there now, because people recognize you and so on?
For sure. So I'm the kind of guy who doesn't dress up. I'm the kind of guy who's very unkempt. I'm not the guy who wears like your double coat, wear your shoe, the fancy stuff with the brooch. None of that. I don't wear anything also. So for me, it was very, very hard lah. And then you can't even do things like you normally did. So I couldn't you know for a fact that someone's looking at you or someone's asking for your photo, someone's asking for your autograph and stuff like that. So you had to be a bit more of a model. So you had to model after. So like sometimes you just have to behave yourself and stuff. You can't be unruly and all of those kind of stuff. Helped me in a way. Yeah, it did.
And recently, I think you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the number of shows that you've been involved is slightly lower, I believe, because you are focused more on your business.
For sure.
But in terms of that, when you go for your business meetings and you move around, people still recognize you as, hey, Vignesh, the media personality, and have you like, I don't know, somehow or other, I won't say close deals, but at least started or opened up deals because being a media personality helped.
Oh, 100%. So it really helped me a lot for when I was in insurance, when I was in property, even until doing any other business. So basically, as a conversation starter, you become very relatable. So they're like, So it really helps. And the good thing about our media is that because Chinese people watch, Malay people watch, I was even surprised that non-Tamil speaking people actually watch Vete. And so they are like, I've seen you somewhere, I don't know where.
Especially now that you are on Netflix, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just to share with you, I did personally share with you, whenever I look at you, the only thing that I can remember of is Vete and the kind of chemistry you and Shabir had on screen.
Oh.
So I always remember that. In fact, my daughter recognizes you as the good cop and Shabir as the bad cop. In any post, anytime she sees Shabir, the bad cop. She was quite young.
So
yeah, so it was definitely a good experience. And of course, being the fans or being the people out there, we actually seen you before. We got to know each other in White Sands before. And then, on a personal note, just to tell you that I felt that you are one of those friendly guys, just smiling and, very jovial. And, really, the warmth was really awesome. So, I like to say that. Thank you so much being a nice Mr. Media personality.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And looking forward, now that Ceylon has become a DSP, hopefully, there's another level or take on such roles. I don't know, somehow or other, being an introvert and knowing you personally, but you carried the role very well. And,
thank you.
Yeah, hope to see you.
Kudos to the directors also, and the bunch that we were very supportive.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. And hopefully, I have more awesome shows like this coming up. And,
yeah.
See you up there. The seems like it's coming soon, Sakti. Wait up. Okay, Vignesh, so let's talk about failures. All right. As much as it is one of a feared subject for many, but I think as entrepreneurs, we always realize that in a way we start embracing failures, right? It becomes a way where you learn and get better. So for you, failures being a best teacher, any thoughts in this?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, failures do teach, and your experience counts a lot. Like if I knew what I knew now, then I would do things so much differently. But then again, how do we do this if you are just starting off, right? So instead of waiting to make all the mistakes, just get yourself a mentor. It saves a ton. So like even right now for ourselves, what we do is we actually look out for advisors as well as investors with some experience in the F&B space or industry. So when they invest or when they become our advisor, it cuts our our learning curve so much shorter. And especially when we are now expanding to like Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, even Australia, it helps so much. So try not to make mistakes all by yourself, because it's going to cost you a lot of time. So yeah.
All right. And Vignesh, about yourself, what do you want to be remembered for? I mean, your legacy years from now.
I don't think I have something like that, but I think at the end of the day, I just want to be the guy who was able to make you smile. So if I played that part in you, whether it's through my products and services or whether it was through entertainment, through a TV show, I think as long as I've touched you in some way to make you smile, I think I'm cool with that. Yeah, I don't have or be the be the icon for this thing or that kind of stuff. I'm not really into that. Yeah.
Nice. And What about your biggest disappointment or regret that you ever had?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I should have traveled so much more. And when I started traveling, I was already married already. So there's so much that you can move thereafter. I think if early stages, if I was getting myself exposed in US, in countries like Vietnam or Indonesia and stuff, I think there were so many more things that could have like sparked in me. I'm not sure what could have sparked, but it's just that I feel like there could have been so much more that I could have done, and it's still not too late. So I guess I'm gonna figure things out soon. Yeah.
I guess it's a hint to your wife that we're going to travel much more and get ready.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, okay. I shouldn't do that live right now. I just figured a new issue for you. All right. And your greatest achievement, Vignesh?
Greatest achievement.
I'm sure you have went into Vasantham Star, the finals, the top 4. You have done so many things. But if I ask what's your greatest achievement that really made you feel that this is it, and every time you want to go to the next level, it's
something that I can remind myself. Yeah, I think this is this one thing that happened for me, which is like life changing, which I keep reminding myself, if this you could do, there's nothing else in the world that you can't do, and that was in the army actually. So I actually was in BMT, and before I went to BMT, I broke my ankle, so I got a 7-month deferment. So I put on weight, and then I went to the normal batch. So I was like the obese guy with all the fit guys, Then I was struggling. And then so during BMT, I was already in my head. I was like, just give me a driver or something. I just want to chill and just relax. I'm not going to do anything. So then my PC kept on telling me, no, Vignesh, you have leadership qualities. You should aim for OCS, You should aim for OCS. Then Usupeti, he gave me high hopes, So he told me, you can. I was like, no, I don't want. And then he finally convinced me that, you should go for OCS. So in my mind, I've already fixated. I'm going OCS. And then when everything came out, the posting brought me to CISPEC. I was like, I'm going to kill you now. So I went to CISPEC, and then the first day they asked who all want to out of course. So I told myself, you know what, I just want to go out of course. I have no interest in doing CISPEC because I belong in OCS. And then I got a reply, which I can't say now here because it's it's weaved in profanity. Huh?
No, but was your reply that I don't want to do CISPEC because I wanted to go OCS, or you were just like,
I told them straight. I just told them that I think I belong in OCS. After that, it was a string of profanity, which I can't say here.
Yeah, so really comes naturally. So
after that, then they said, then what do you want to do? I said, I'm going to go out of course. So I went out of course, and then I became a PA to the CEO, doing normal administrative work and stuff like that. And then on the last day, when I was going to be posted out to my actual position, which is PA for another master warrant, my CEO told me, Vic, actually knowing you after these 3 months, why don't you just finish up the course and at least be a commander, be a suspect? And I told myself, no, I want to be in OCS. He said, to be in OCS, you need to be top 7%, no. And out of like all of these companies, you have to be top 7%. You are for it or not? I said, if it is not that, then I don't want to do it already. Then he said, okay, I tell you what, you go give your best. Worst case scenario, you become a thing. So in my head, I was like, no, if I give it a shot, I'm going to go for OCS. So that Friday he told me, Sunday he called me, and then he said, what's your decision? So at that day, I don't know, for some reason, I just told him, you know what, I'll do it. I'll just do a recourse. So then I did a recourse, and after that, I became platoon best, and then I got to OCS. And then the moment I finished off as an officer, wow, that was the moment. For me, that was an achievement.
Yeah. Throwing your pick then would have been like
so basically, I finished BSLC as a suspect. I also finished the OCS course. So basically, I understood both worlds.
Yeah. All right. Wow, but amazing. I mean, with the timeline that you had and the journey you had, and you still went back. And for the viewers out there, when you are from BMT, you go to OCS. Yes, it's like a direct entry, right? I'm not saying it's easy, but from CISPEC to be the top 7% and then going into OCS is another feat by itself. So yeah, wow, that's amazing. And then of course you have another 6 months plus, right? Balance to go through.
Yeah, correct. So then I pretty much did a lot of courses because in OCS I was also top 14%. So I was brought to EOAC, so the advanced engineer course. So once again I was in course. So basically my actual term, I think I was there for maybe 3 months or so.
So you on courses, your whole 2.5 years was more on courses.
Yeah, all courses, yeah.
Yeah, because the last I know that you are lieutenant in combat engineers, right?
Yes, combat engineers.
Yeah,
armored engineers.
Armored engineers. Wow. Okay. All right. Wow. This is something that you see, that's why I got to ask you questions that will be out of the norm. Right? Nobody knew you went through this journey.
I wasn't even prepared to share this, so it just happened.
Thanks. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, for me, I think, now that I'm, not because I was an ex-regular, but yesterday I took a Grab. As I said, right, my car was stowed away. And then I was talking to this Grab driver and he was telling me, I got 2 sons. And when I was young, I hated the army. But now my 2 sons are 24 and 22. And I encourage them to go to army because a lot of life skills that I never knew I would learn, today I'm applying it at the age of 60.
Yes.
And I was like, really? Then you're sharing his experience. I realized that, as much as, not that I'm deviating from the topic, but military is one opportunity where you pick up something that will go a long way. So guys out there who have not went into army yet, don't worry. There'll be a lot of stuff. Even the parents out there, don't worry. Your children or your sons will be a better person. You have 2 cases here. All right. And going back, now, any word of advice, Vignesh, that you want to share to the entrepreneurs and our viewers who are currently engaged in our chat?
Like I said, I don't think I'm in a position to give an advice, but I think if you ask me to share what I know, I think I would say don't chase after a shiny object. So if you see advertisement, if you're doing something, let's say you are running a business or maybe you're working somewhere, if you see some ad or if you do Forex, you're going to be the next millionaire, or you do options. It's what I call preparing and then never getting into motion. So the preparing, sometimes it may seem like you are actually taking action because maybe it's a book that you're reading, maybe it's a thing that you're practicing. But if you never take action, you are never putting the rubber to the tire. The rubber to the road. So basically, I would say, if you think you're more or less there, just go for it and then just figure things out later. Rather than just procrastinating and just waiting and things slip past.
Right. Thanks, Vignesh. And yes, all of you out there, from the man himself, if let's say whether it's on your passion for arts, your passion for performance, or whether your passion in terms of anything that you have that you want to actually put it out there for a business, just take the step. Of course, do certain planning and move ahead, and then you got to take a step before you can do anything else, right? Before anything happens. So with that, thank you so much, Vignesh. As much as possible, time just flew by, and I was like, wow, 1 hour just flew past. Wow. Yeah, it was so fast. In fact, I was just thinking we were like halfway through. I can still go on. But thanks, Vignesh. And personally, just on a very personal note, I would like to tell you that I really enjoyed and I realized that you are the nice guy who's consistently smiling and really, in fact, you made the host feel very comfortable. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vignesh. And definitely we'll meet again. And so with that, let me just round up the show before I catch up with you in the holding area.
Sure. Perfect.
Thank you, Vignesh.
Thanks. Bye.
Right. Yeah. All right. Awesome session. And, I think I really enjoyed my time. We have, from Vishalini, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, to Vignesh. And yes, really inspired by your sharing. Thanks, Vishalini, for, this. I'm sure Vignesh is still listening to us from the holding area. All right. To all of you, thank you once again for joining us today. And I hope this has been good. And especially for those of you who engage us with the questions, thank you. And now with that, we have come to the end of our show, and we'll be meeting up next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. But before that, as I said, for those of you, if videos are the thing for you, feel free to either, go into our Bettery Lab Facebook page over here, and then, or you can go to our YouTube page, subscribe the page. You have all our live chat, including today's live chat with Vignesh and our past live chats. Or if podcast is the thing for you, then you can just join us at our Bettery Hub podcast. You can actually just go over at www.betteryhubpodcast, or you can actually listen to our podcast on Spotify. Right. So with that, next week, 8 p.m., I will be seeing you guys, and we have a special guest from UK. So I'm quite excited. So I'll give you more details as we go on. So with that, remember, till we meet again, keep doing it better, and see ya.